What is the biggest mistake homeowners make that costs them thousands? Price. Price based on emotions or price based on logic? Here's the difference. Most home sellers want to price their house based on emotions. Oh, we've lived here for so many years. We did all this work to the house over all these years. We used 24 karat gold nails and all the trim work, this, and that. But at the end of the day, the market doesn't care about your opinion or my opinion. Besides, you're looking to sell the house and you want to maximize your profit, right? But the house is only worth what it's worth to the best buyer on the market. So we need to set you up to have leverage, get you the terms that you deserve. Now, how do we do that? Well, let's dive into the idea that buyers who are going to come buy your house, let's say 90% plus, are going to use financing. Now, when you use financing, you have to get approved at the very end to get this loan, right? What if I told you that a lender is going to require this buyer to have an appraisal done? Well, let's see. If your house is only worth $250,000, that lender's only going to give the buyer $250,000. And you're over here telling me that you know your house is worth $300,000. Even though the data I brought to you, the facts, show that your house is worth about $250,000. So we know that's about the range it's going to appraise at. Well, if they need to get an appraisal and they even did offer you $300,000 because that's what you wanted to list it at, right? And they only get approved for $250,000, they can't come up with the other $50,000. But I do have a solution for you on how we can gain that kind of leverage from a buyer by setting you up with success from the very beginning. How do we do that? Well, it's called an appraisal gap. So let's just say that we sit down at the table, we discuss listing your house, we start going over a strategy. We're going to want to price your home strategically, and we want to do that based on data and facts, right? Now, picture this. Your house is worth $250,000. I know what you're thinking if I brought the idea that, well, let's list it under a little bit, 240,000, 245, somewhere around that range. You're going to be thinking, well, if it's worth 250, why don't we just list it at 250? We want to gain so much traction. We want it to be so attractive. We also want to compete with other homes potentially like yours in the neighborhood within a mile or two, so that these buyers want to come to your house first. Not only that, but we want them to find it so attractive, now they're going to compete with each other. Their offers are going to start being competitive with each other because in the state of Wisconsin, we do not know what the other person's offer is. We're not even allowed to discuss our clients' offers with nobody, no terms. Therefore, you have to come with your best foot forward. So I ask a buyer this: do you want to buy the house or do you want to put in an offer and hope it sticks? See, when we list your house, we want to make sure that it's so competitive that we have the opportunity to get you multiple offers. That helps gain leverage for you to get the terms that you deserve. So if you even want to come close to 300,000, we need to price it right from the start. And in doing so, we could potentially create what's called that appraisal gap. So an offer comes in at $280,000 and we have it listed just below $250,000. And it appraises at $250,000, but that offer that you want to accept with the appraisal gap says, I'm willing to come out of pocket $30,000 over appraised value, but not to exceed their offer price of $280,000. What does that do for you? Well, that's the buyer saying, seller, I ain't giving you any risk in my offer. I'm going to buy the house for $280,000 regardless. Now, of course, there's going to be other terms involved potentially. Maybe there's an inspection, maybe there's not. These are things that we need to go over because homes don't just sell. They're placed strategically. We have a plan. We have to have a strategy. This is very important. when it comes to selling your house. If you're even thinking about selling, stop guessing. Know your numbers, know your strategy. Because when you sell right, you don't just move homes, you maximize your outcome.